Hey everybody, I'm going to talk about using a dietary log to monitor your symptoms so you understand what foods are causing you issues and which ones are not. First, let me say I'm not a medical doctor. This is not medical advice. It's based on my personal experiences for informational and educational purposes only. So why would you use a dietary log? Doesn't it seem like a lot of work? It's a pain in the butt? No. Well, it's the main way to be able to figure out which foods are causing you irritation and which ones are not, okay? And the idea is you want to start off with a dietary log that's simple for you, that doesn't put a lot of stress on you. Just write down what you're eating and how you're feeling. Write down the times where you start to notice symptoms shift. Write down the things that you're eating. And you'll start to be able to see correlations. Oh, wow. Every time that I eat gluten, I start to get a headache, or every time that I eat too much meat, I feel bloated, or whatever it is, and you start to see the correlations, right? But if you really want to make a ton of progress with this, you got to start off with the simplest, most low allergenic diet possible. And that's why I came up with the hypoallergenic diet, okay? And that's typically starting off with foods that are your rice, your potatoes, your fruits, your vegetables, your lentils, your beans, olive oil, avocado oil, sea salt, starting there with the basics. Do that for about 10 days. You'll notice, wow, my symptoms are a lot better over the course of 10 days. I didn't even realize it. And then at that point, you'll say, okay, well, what foods do I want to try adding back in? And ideally, you want to be smart about it. You don't want to add gluten or eggs or nuts and seeds back in. You want to add something that's safer, something like rice pasta, or something like, something like a veggie burger, or something like tofu, or something like a little bit outside the box. So if you go to my website, endsickness.org, there's a link on there for the hypoallergenic food list. I go through all the foods, green, yellow, orange, red. You start with the green, you move to the yellow, orange, red. But the reality is if you go simple initially with foods and you keep less ingredients at each meal, you'll be able to tell which meals work for you and which ones don't. And that's really the most important part when you come with the dietary logs. You have to be able to compare A to B. For example, if you have rice and potato, or you have rice and vegetables in a meal with oil, and you go, oh, I feel okay. And then you have rice, vegetables, and a steak, and you don't feel okay, guess what? It was the steak that's causing the problem. So this is how you monitor your foods and how they affect you. But you have to be willing to write down what you're eating, how you're feeling in between, try to connect the dots, and use the food list that I have online. It's pretty simple, and it will go ahead and be able to give you a real simple direction as to what to do. But it's real easy. It's your fruits, your vegetables, your rice, your potatoes, your beans, your lentils. Start there. You're not going to die. Use olive oil and avocado oil as fats. You eat avocados, use that as fat also. You're not going to die. If you're eating a meat-heavy diet, then gradually move your way into this, and then eventually try that, and then move that direction. But the reality is this is the safest way to go if you're trying to identify food sensitivities. Typically, all the foods I'm mentioning, you're not going to be sensitive to, but some of them you might be, like oranges, raspberries, onions, garlic, things like that, you might have issues with. So if you notice something, you got to be able to simplify it at each of these meals to be able to identify what the actual irritant was at the meal, and then you make changes. You remove that food, you find another one, So one thing I'm going to say is flax seeds, chia seeds. I talked about seeds negatively, but you can add those in. Just give it a week or two into your elimination diet. But you have to be willing to document this stuff. If you're not willing to document this stuff, then you're not going to be able to get out of the constant cycle. This is necessary. Actually, it's mandatory for my clients. If they don't document anything, then we're caught in this chronic loop of just, saying you're a victim of the illness and not your choices. And that's not the reality. Your choices are what dictate your illness and your symptoms. You are in control of your symptoms. The illness is not control. You are in control. And this is how you document and you prove it to yourself through this log. Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to my website, endsickness.org. I got hundreds of articles, hundreds of videos in there teaching you how to heal yourself. Take care.